Welcome to Qiological Shop Talk. In this podcast, we bring you roughly 20 to 25 minutes of practical clinical methods, perspectives, and advice that has its work boots on. Listen in for clinical gems that you can begin to investigate the next time that you walk into clinic. Additionally, visit the show notes page for supporting materials from this week's guest on Shop Talk. All right, friends, roll up your sleeves. Let's get to work. This episode of Shop Talk is brought to you by LASA OMS, your clinic's partner in wellness. Later in the show, listen for a special offer from LASA to help you with all the transitions your patients face. The information shared on this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice. Always consult a qualified licensed healthcare professional before making any decisions about your health or treatment. The host and guests are not responsible for any actions taken based on the content of this podcast.
Hello and welcome. My name is Chris Shelton, and I've been practicing the ancient art of Qigong and Tai Chi for over 30 years now. I've actually been studying, and also classical Chinese medicine. My introduction to Qigong was because I had a heart attack, well actually 2 heart attacks by the time I was 19 years old from a meth overdose. And so after the second one, I finally realized, you know what, Chris, you're going to end up dead, in prison, or both. And so I put myself into Taekwondo. And then one night before a fight, I was accidentally kicked in the back and left me with a severe back injury that led me to a physician. And this physician had a therapist working for her, and he was a martial artist. And he started talking to me about Qi. Well, you know, I'm like 20, 21 years old now. And I thought, yeah, right, the closest thing to Qi I could get is like Cheez-Its and Cheez Whiz. So he started talking to me about these Qigong classes, and back then nobody was talking about Qigong, or very little. I mean, Kung Fu was gaining momentum because of people like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, etc. But as far as like Tai Chi and Qigong, not too many people here. Anyways, I started taking these classes. I had nothing to lose. I had other health problems too. I, for years, suffered from seasonal allergies. I also had chronic sinusitis. I also had chronic digestive issues. If I was to eat an avocado or a salad, I was in the fetal position or vomiting 2 or 3 hours later, especially between the hours of 1 and 3 in the morning. And I lived on all kinds of medications, and thank God they did not take out my gallbladder back then, because nowadays they probably would have taken out my gallbladder. Struggled with this for quite a few years, and I kid you not, I started taking these Qigong classes, and within about 6 months, I couldn't tell you when exactly, what the exact date was, but all of a sudden the realization that, wow, when did I stop living on the antibiotics? When did I stop living on things like Sudafed and Actifed, Tums, all these kind of over-the-counter products as well too? When was I able to finally eat something like an avocado and not be in a fetal position a couple hours later? So I thought to myself, if a simple, gentle practice in specific meditation and movement could do this to me, which Qigong gave me, then I thought to myself, well, there must be something to the medicine. And then that's when I started studying Chinese medicine. Fast forward, what I realized is, after starting the foundations, and the leading cause of death and disease is negative emotions, besides poor diet and not eating and exercising properly. But negative emotions are the leading cause of death and disease and creates all types of forms of inflammation. I finally realized that what had happened with my digestive issue, because I grew up in such a dysfunctional home where there's a lot of violence, neglect, a lot of fighting, it just wasn't a good environment. I realized that the stomach issues was due to a liver imbalance because of all the repressed resentment and anger that I had. And when I was younger, in my 20s, you know, people would say, Chris, you're angry. I'd be like, oh, screw you, you're angry. What are you talking about? And the realization is that I was. And this also contributed to those stomach issues. Our main mission is to be able to give people tools to deal with their mental emotional trauma, present as well as past. And I'll get into this towards the end of the conversation. One of the big things that we do is we give a lot of practices to like the Special Olympics and to the Santa Clara County Health Department and such for mental, emotional wellness. And these Qigong practices are very simple to do, and anybody can do them. Now, for me, studying with my teacher Esther Su on Tong style acupuncture, I was lucky enough to do a 2.5-year private tutorialship with her. and really got to get the philosophy and how Confucianism rolled into it and Taoism rolled into the art form that she was teaching me. And this realization that how emotions, and Qigong is actually the foundation of Chinese medicine, because thousands of years ago, people were so enlightened and connected to source minus the ego that they were able to understand the interconnectedness between our environment, the interconnectedness between the movement of the sun, moon, and stars, and understand how our emotions actually create certain dysfunctions within certain organs and specific organs, and then will show up as chronic disease and illness. So today what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd share a couple of practices. I have a whole YouTube channel. We have a whole Qi Club. We'll get into that towards the very end. A couple of simple Qigong practices that when I'm hired as a keynote speaker to give talks to like trauma nurses and doctors on disease prevention, or going into the jails and giving talks on disease prevention, these are a couple of the practices that I love to give. Turn off your phone. Unplug from everything. Find yourself a very comfortable position, either a seated or lying down position. Toes are pointing slightly straight ahead, tucking the sacrum underneath, pressing back the Ming Men, right opposite the belly button, between the left and the right kidney. Tip of the tongue gently curls to the roof of the mouth behind the teeth, as if saying the letter N. Going to close your eyes. We're going to go on an inward journey together, focusing on our body. The breath long, steady, even, and deep into the lower abdomen. So as we breathe, we feel this abdomen expand and contract with each inhalation and exhalation. The purpose of this meditation is for you to get out of your head and back into your body, but more importantly, to be able to know your body inside and out, to be that consciously aware. So when it's fun, we're going to begin to melt down through the front of the body. So imagine a smiling face on the front of the forehead. Imagine warm oil that begins to melt down through the front of the forehead, the brow bone, eyebrows, and eyes, flowing and pouring into the temples. Feel every inch, every cell, every tissue as this warm oil flows down to the nose, the cheeks, the front of the ears, the base of the nose, the lips, the chin, the jaw structure. Flowing and pouring, now you relax through the front of the throat and neck. Feel as this warm oil envelops the upper shoulders, chest, the biceps, flowing through the elbow creases, the forearms, the wrists, the palms of the hands, leading all the way out to the fingertips. And keeping a strong connection between heaven and earth. This warm oil flows down through the chest, the abdomen, the flanks of the body, flowing down through the groin, through the thighs, relaxing the knees, the shins, the ankles, the top of the feet and toes, all connecting, all flowing off deep into the ground. And from here, just take a moment to just feel your body from head to toe simultaneously, focusing on what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, being in the present moment, being in the now. And take a moment now to feel what's behind you from head to toe. Feel the left and right sides of the body. And now consciously feel front, back, left and right. And next, connecting with your higher power. Imagine this white light that flows down through the center of our being, illuminating our senses of what's going on inside of us, first enveloping the brain. Feel the left and right hemispheres of the brain, the space between the brain and the skull, flowing and pouring. Visualizing and feeling the pineal gland, pituitary, connecting from behind the eyes, the nerves that connect from behind the eyes to the center of the brain. The bones of the face, the sinus cavity, all the small bones, muscles, blood vessels. You now visualize and feel the inner ear, the brain stem, the upper palate of the mouth, the teeth, the gums, the lower palate, the tongue, flowing and pouring down through the center of the neck and throat. Feel the arteries, the muscles, branching off into the bones and fascia of the upper chest, back, and shoulders. inch by inch, cell by cell, traveling through the inside of our bodies. Feel what's there. The center of the arms, the center of the biceps, triceps. Feel the arteries, the center of the elbows, the center of the forearms. All the small bones and ligaments of the wrist, hands, and fingers. And as you travel down each vertebra, we now go into the clavicle. You visualize and feel the ribs. Feel the ribs as they wrap around to the spine on the back. Visualizing the intercostal spaces between the ribs. Visualizing and feeling now the lungs. Feeling the breath of life, the chi of life, expanding those lungs. The heart, the pericardium. Flowing and pouring as this white light fills up into the liver and gallbladder on the right side of the body. The stomach, the spleen, the pancreas. Flowing into the kidneys. Feel your intestines, the bladder, the pelvic bone, the sacrum, the hips. Feel the insertion of the femurs of the bones of the legs into the hips. Femoral arteries, the main arteries that travel down from the inner part of the groin, nourishing and extending all the way out to the feet and toes. Feel the muscles of the legs, center of the knees, the center of the shins and calves, ankles, and all the small bones and ligaments of the feet and toes. And allow for this white light to flow down deep into the ground. And from there, imagine your feet melting into the earth like you're standing on a sea of liquid energy comes up out the height of the ankles. Next, imagine roots growing out from the bubbling well points, the kidney one points at the bottom of the feet. Twice the height of the body. And as you inhale, you feel this golden light race up the roots, up the legs, into the visceral cavity as you inhale. And then as you exhale, allow for this light to release out any toxicity, out the legs, out the roots, down deep into the ground. A few more breaths, inhaling. Feel the golden light racing up the roots, up the legs, into the abdominal cavity as we inhale, clearing out these internal organs, and then as we exhale, releasing back out any toxicity, back out the legs, out the roots, and down deep into the ground. And one more breath. Feel the light, feel the golden light from the earth, up the roots, up heels, up the legs, into the abdominal cavity, and then as you exhale, releasing out any toxicity. And then from there, just take a moment to feel your body. Feel what's there. Taking a mental note. And from here, I want you now to imagine a pink cloud filling up into the chest, filling up into your heart. Focusing on the emotions of abandonment, loneliness, lack of joy, or any emotions that come up for you, anxiety, sorrow, disappointment, irritation. Feel it now. If it's something in the past, is it something in the present? Who's involved, what's involved? Bring it to the present moment. And as you inhale, feel that pink cloud fill up into the heart and pericardium. And lifting the chin gently as we exhale, making the ha sound, releasing the negative trauma. Inhale. Letting go. Inhale. Again. And doing a few underneath our breath, inhaling. And as we let go of the pain, the past or present trauma, the positive virtue of love, universal love, takes the place of the abandonment, the loneliness, the lack of joy. It's letting that go. Every time we inhale, the pink cloud envelops the heart. And as we exhale, making the ha sound underneath our breath. allowing for that trauma to leave like a dark cloud, going several feet away from the body and deep into the ground. Doing one more breath. And slowly coming back to the present. Gathering, opening up your eyes, feeling grounded, feeling connected, feeling better than ever. All right. All right, so how does everybody feel? So this is just a small example of some of the Qigong practices that we teach for mental health. And the heart is the emperor or empress of the body. It will dictate how much of an emotion will be expressed or suppressed. With the thousands of people that I've seen in clinical practice throughout the years as well as around the world, these are the practices that I give to people in order to enhance their healing process. So what it does is it actually empowers the patient to be able to help take care of their own health care, to be a participant in the healing process. And when they understand the different negative emotions actually show up as disease inside the body, then they actually have tools, and these Qigong practices are the very tools that they can utilize at any time in order to deal with past or present trauma. If you want more information about these Qigong practices and how it applies to your clinical practice, please join us for the Holistic Healthcare Provider Masterclass on August 1st through the 4th. So check out the link below and we'll be able to send you out more information on this, but please sign up for that. And we're going to have a great discussion on how negative emotions show up as disease, as well as how these Qigong practices transform the disease process. And if you're somebody that wants to actually become a teacher trainer and actually apply this to your healthcare regimen, as well as to your patients and to your clients, please join us and sign up for our teacher training program. And the next launch date for that is August 14th. So the cool thing about our Qigong teacher training program is that we have California CEUs that are available when you sign up. So this is a great opportunity to get your CEUs and also to add another valuable practice to your existing practice. I'd like to thank Michael Matz once again for having me on his podcast. And we actually had another fun discussion. Him and I had a fun discussion together on how suffering is essential for transformation. So go back, check that one out. And once again, my name is Chris Shelton, and until next time, I will chi you later.
When you're looking for herbs, tools, and supplies to guide your patients through life's transitions, you need quality you can trust. Lhasa OMS offers an unmatched selection of acupuncture needles for every style, herbs from all your favorite manufacturers, and everything else you need to run your clinic with confidence. Visit LhasaOMS.com to source the herbs and other supplies featured in this series. Use the code FERTILE15 for 15% off your next purchase at LhasaOMS.com. Some exclusions apply. See website for details. That's it for this episode of Shop Talk. Did you learn something that brought a patient to mind? Don't keep a good thing to yourself. Share it with a friend. They'll be happy that you did. And tune in again for our next episode of Shop Talk.